Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra, and with me on this edition, I have somebody very, very special joining in. Mr. Raghav Belavadi joins in. He's the founder and CEO of Hype, which is a luxury mobility firm. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Business Today TV. So let's drive straight into the luxury mobility space where you function. You're the premier, luxury car rental space. Help us understand how did you really get into this space? When everybody used to talk about India being a very, very price sensitive market, what gave you the confidence of getting into this space?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I just gave an example how Raja Jai Singh set the example 100 years ago that India is a luxury market and we have more than the money. People have the ambition and desire to get there. Sometimes we may not have enough cash in the bank to go and acquire, but our ambition has always led us to go, and that's how we have always grown the market. Of course, there's the other side of it that you see, the more economical side of it, which is natural in any countries actually. But looking at our growth, looking at the overall wealth of the country for hundreds and thousands of years, it hasn't gone anywhere. It is still with us. We just need to mobilize that. So when we're talking about mobility, it's mobilizing the luxury mindset and not just the instrumental cars or yachts or private jets. So I was in Europe for many years and I used to drive really nice cars and autobahn kind of fantastic roads. Whenever I came back to India, it always you had to squeeze yourself into a smaller car, and our self-drive cars were not so great. I wanted to change that. When I started it, I didn't start with any great vision or something, but I wanted some nice and cool cars for friends of mine and family of mine in Bangalore. Yeah, so it started. It always started. The opportunity always knocks on the door in terms of as in the disguise of a problem. So the problem was when my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, I wanted to hire a Rolls Royce. I don't know why I'm talking about Rolls Royce so much today, but what I got was a Mercedes Benz. So, and I was shocked, and then I was told that the Rolls Royce couldn't be available because it went to some rich man's wedding. And I have to now squeeze into. So my priorities and my sentiments were not so important for them. So I felt that's pretty insulting for any buyer. And the market has, tipped its balance to one side of it, which is not a great story actually. And if it's happening to me in a country as vast as India with a billion population, there are hundreds and millions of people who may be
not being able to get this.
Going through the same thing.
But how has the pandemic really impacted the luxury car rental space in India? Has there been any impact at all? And post the pandemic also, if you could help us understand, has there been a revenge travel demand that you're also able to see in the luxury rental space?
Pandemic always has a history of doing very bad to one part of the business in the market, and it will always boom one side of the market. That's how pandemics behave. The post-pandemic, we didn't see a revenge per se. I won't use that, but there is a natural organic awareness among people that they should choose something premium because it's worth it. And if the value of life, your value of family, and value of your everything in the lifestyle started mattering to people a lot. So the good part is we were on the positive side of the post-pandemic issue. And while before pandemic we were growing about 18 to 20% year on year, post-pandemic now we are clocking about 60% year on year, which is actually something great. It's an automatically done awareness, which although it's a brutal situation, but that help people be aware of their lifestyle, the choices they make, and it helped us, and it helped a lot of luxury businesses in the industry.
Right. So how big is the luxury car rental market right now in the country? And, as we're talking about India at 100 years, so next 25 years, what kind of growth do you really see in this space?
As of now, my data is still 2 years old, but India is having about $14 billion as a market, and globally it's about $155 billion as a luxury just automobile market. So today it's all about shared services, how you reduce your carbon footprint. And I discourage people to buy more and more cars rather than you use the same cars which is lying unused in somebody else's garage. It makes more sense to increase the productivity, and at the same time it reduces your overall consumption of fuel and the carbon footprint. So it has it has its own balance actually. And if you look at next 10 to 20 years, and I'm pretty confident in by 2035, 2040, I think India would definitely be in the top three luxury, the mobility countries of the world. The reason being, as I said in the talk also, Rolls-Royce has just opened its first ever showroom in Mumbai, which is a great thing. Lamborghini in the last few years entered Indian market. Ferrari entered Indian market. And Mercedes Maybach, which was never sold to India, has now started directly shipping its Maybach. And these cars are all at least 4 crores and above in Indian currency. And if they are so restlessly building and they have realized the market value and they're shipping, that means, the data itself shows that it's going to exponentially grow in the next 1 or 2 decades. And I'm very confident that luxury market will boom in India in the next couple of decades.
Okay. And since we're talking more about the automobile space, I do know that you're also foraying into the other aspects, like, yacht, you have private jets. And there is also a talk about how you may also foray into space travel as well. So help us understand how all of that is going to come about.
So I'll give you something which I haven't made it really public yet.
Okay.
That, in HYPE, we call this as loss of HYPE, LAWS, land, air, water, and space. The reason I launched space was 2 years ago when Richard Branson launched the first 100 participants to go to space. So I was one of them.
Okay.
So I got my confirmation 2 months ago that I'll be flying to space into 2025.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And he sent out a team. We had an interview with Sirisha Bagla in Bangalore. And they interviewed me, and they also said that I'll be the first Indian to go to space who is living in India. Of course, Sirisha doesn't live in India now.
Sure.
So, but still, regardless, I think that's a great space. I think space tourism is going to be on the boom, and you will see that in next 10 to 15 years, people will go out on dates, will start proposing in outer space. It's just a 3-hour journey, and it is going to be no bigger than Bangalore-Delhi flight.
Wow.
For an overall experience. And I'm waiting for Indian startup ecosystem or Indian, aerospace kind of businesses to boom and take us there instead of you making a trip to New Mexico every time and going in SpaceX or Amazon or, the Virgin Galactic.
That's unimaginably, beautiful that you're talking about that, a world that we don't have right now, but may soon be there in front of us to see. And space travel you're talking about is going to be very common. So what are we going to be taking space shuttles to go there every now and then?
I mean, it's going to be, if you see the New Mexico plant of Virgin Galactic or, or Blue Horizon of Amazon, they're just very unassuming space aircraft. They're especially Virgin Galactic, if I had to say, it just takes off like any regular plane. So only when you reach about 110,000 meters or somewhere, you'll get dislodged from the parent ship, and then it takes a spin and it comes back to gravitational force and it lands on the plate of Earth. It's just a normal routine. There is no rocket science involved, especially in galactic. It is no different than how you take a flight from your Indira Gandhi International Airport. So when you make it so unassuming, just regular and give extraordinary experience, 60, 70 kilometers above the Earth, then it matters. And I think everybody must go out and see the horizon of this planet and experience space and the weightlessness. Right. It's a great experience.
So how much is it going to cost me to take that space shuttle?
As of now, Virgin Galactic is very economical.
Okay.
First 100 participants who have been selected, they are offering it at a fraction of, I think, $300,000 or something.
Okay.
At the same time, Amazon is quoting about $3.5 million, which is beyond the reach.
That's true.
And I believe Galactic's technology is also quite advanced, and there are pilots to give you a little bit of comfort that somebody is looking after.
Yes.
In Blue Horizon of Amazon, there are no pilots.
Right.
It's a slingshot.
Right.
So it goes and it just comes back on its own, which is pretty scary. So Galactic that way has 2 pilots, and they'll land just like another aeroplane. As I said, I think in about 15 years you will see that not the drones, not anyone else, but you could just take one aircraft which will take you from Bangalore to Delhi in about 11, 12 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. All of that music to the ears to see that world unfold in front of us. But just specifically about Hype, where does it go from here? The vision that you may have next 5 years. What more can we really expect from Hype?
So when we started focusing only on the cars, but a lot of our customers, we are a completely customer-driven business.
Sure.
We have learned a lot of, I would say, about 50-60% of our business growth has happened because of customers' expectation. They kept coming back to us asking for, do you have private jets? Do you also have yachts along the coast of Goa? So that pushed us to go and explore and see that area is still, totally undisrupted, and we should go and do something about it. That's how we added, the private jets and yachts and everything. It is still very organized, and if you go on our website or app, you will see that on a click of a button, you can book an aircraft, a private jet or a yacht. Very, very seamless experience. We are already in Middle East, India, and UK.
Okay.
In the next year, we are planning to launch it in US and Australia. So it was very, big coincidence that I could meet the former Prime Minister also today, and I put a word to him. So he was pretty excited that we are going to launch in Australia. But yeah, I mean, we are going to be in at least 2-3 countries in the next 5 years, and we have already partnered with some of the large fleet operators. I think we are going to create more experience. And as part of the expansion.
Right. So is it going to be inorganically driven, organically driven? The fundraise plans, if you may have any IPO on the radar, all of those questions.
So we are a completely bootstrapped company. So luxury doesn't have this hockey stick curve kind of a weekend growth, because it goes at an elephant pace, but very strong and steady. So we are profitable. We are on our margins are good. So this year, next year, I think we will definitely venture into inviting investors. Most of our investors will be from HNI, UHNI family offices, because they have exposure and they are our target audience also. In about 2-3 years, if everything goes well, I think we should also be a unicorn, but with a much stronger bottom line to our stakeholders, rather than just a namesake unicorn.
So largely it's all luxury, I understand, but are you also looking at venturing into the standard maybe automobile rental space itself?
Very interesting question. We post-pandemic, we thought people might be very conservative. They might have lost jobs and salaries. So we introduced a standard car just for experiment, and we kept it online for about 4 or 5 months. We had 2 big losses. One is that those cars were never booked by anybody.
Okay.
And our existing customers started getting irritated that why do we have these standard cars on our website? So we understood the matter of pride to our customers and the expectation. When they come to Hype, they expect nothing less than luxury. Suddenly, you cannot have a 7-star hotel opening a chain of lodges next day because you want to address people's problem as a messiah. That won't work in luxury. Luxury has always been a pride and prestige for people. It's a validation, and we should stay there. So that has made it very clear. So for us, customer expectation, exceeding their expectation, always is going to be our agenda of the day. So we'll continue to stay that, and I don't think we are going to get into standard car business.
Okay, understood that. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you and seeking all those insights. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.